Hi everyone, it's Chris and welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to do another one in my series of favourite fives, and the band of choice today is AC/DC, a band that brought out their first album in 1975 and are still going today, although I do have reservations about a 70-year-old cavorting around the stage in schoolboy outfit. But hey, they're a great live band and they did some good stuff. And what I've got for you today is 5 albums, my favourite 5 albums, my favourite 5 singles by them, and my favourite 5 album tracks. So first up is their albums, and in number 5th place is High Voltage. This is the UK version that came out in '76. It bears no resemblance actually to the Australian version, bar 2 songs, which is I think Little Lover and She's Got Balls. The rest of the songs came from the second Australian album called TNT, including, bizarrely, the title track, High Voltage. There's some good songs on this album, so it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Its bagpipe solo is a great song. Live Wire, which I think they used to open concerts with that. It's just an immense song. It's brilliant with the kind of boom, 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 boom bass at the start. It's brilliant. TNT's a good song. Can I Sit Next to You Girl, with a kind of leery Bon Scott vocal. High Voltage is a great song. So there's my number 5, High Voltage from '76. At number 4, Back in Black. Now, people may be surprised this is not higher, but I think I'm probably overheard it, but there are really and honestly 2 songs that I go back to on here. The rest of the album I don't want to hear anymore. And those 2 songs are Hell's Bells, the opening track, which I think is brilliant. And I remember seeing them on this tour, and they started with Hell's Bells, and in fact they had a big bell and Brian Johnson was tolling it at the start. So that's a great song. And the second song, Shoot to Thrill, is a fantastic song. I managed to meet the band, got their autographs, and I did see them on the tour. I think it was November, I think it was 1980 November. I saw them twice that year, because I saw them in January 1980, and I saw them on the tour that was supporting this album. That's my 3rd favourite album, Highway to Hell. So I was due to see them in Southampton in December 1979, promoting this album supported by the Pirates, and it was cancelled. And it was cancelled at the last minute. I remember getting on the train at Poole, where I used to live, and people came running to the station saying, "No, it's been cancelled, Bon Scott's ill," and we had to get off the train. And that was really disappointing. It was rescheduled for January, and we went to see them in January, towards the end of January, in Southampton again. They were supported by Diamond Head. The whole concert was incredibly loud. It was a brilliant concert, and it turned out it was Bon Scott's last concert. And I felt really privileged that I didn't realise for years and years. I felt really privileged that I'd been to his last concert. It was fantastic, and this is a great album. The title track is fantastic. Girls Got Rhythm, Walk All Over You, Touch Too Much, Beating Around the Bush. That's just side 1. That's a pretty flawless side of vinyl. Brilliant. The second side is not as good. Shot Down in Flames is fantastic. But this is a really consistent album, produced by Mutt Lange from 1979 on Atlantic Records. Highway to Hell. That's my 3rd favourite. Second favourite album by them, I've ummed and ahed, and I change sometimes with this, but my second favourite album by them is Powerage from '78. This is the US version and this is the UK version. Obviously I first owned the UK version and have added this one over time. This is different because it starts off with Rock and Roll Damnation, and it hasn't got Cold Hearted Man on it, whereas this one has. And it's a slightly different mix on the UK version as well. So this is the version I'm basing my opinion on. It's got Down Payment Blues, which is fantastic, a shorter version than the US version. The US version has this kind of funny fade out bit at the end, and that seems daft, but this one hasn't, and it's much better. Riff Raff, which is just a brilliant song. Sin City, Up to My Neck in You, Kicked in the Teeth Again. It's a really heavy album. There's some good rockers on here. The guitar work is fantastic. Malcolm Young, what a rhythm guitarist he was, and Angus Young, great guitarist, of course. And then we come to my favourite album by them. My favourite album was the first album I ever bought by them, which was about 1978. In fact, I bought this album before I bought Powerage, that came out in '78. And I bought it, I remember where I bought it actually, because down in Poole there was a place called Poole Arts Centre. Next to it was some waste ground, and every Saturday they had a market. There was a brilliant record store there, and this is the album that I bought there in about 1978, Let There Be Rock, my favourite AC/DC album. This sounds like it looks. It sounds like they turn up in the studio, they turn on their amps, set up their drums, whatever, and then just play. And it sounds so live, you know, from the crackle and the buzz of the amps in the background to Bon Scott counting in the opening song on side 2. It's just a brilliant album. The guitar tone on here, it's obviously a combination of a Gibson SG and a Marshall or something, but the guitar tone is so dirty, it's brilliant. Go Down, fantastic. Dog Eat Dog, Let There Be Rock, Bad Boy Boogie, that's an immense side of vinyl, fantastic. Overdose, brilliant. Crabsty in Blue, Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, and their classic Whole Lotta Rosie, which closes the album. And it's just a tremendous album, and that's my favourite album by them. So let's think my favourite 5 singles. So at number 5, the song High Voltage. It came out in 76. I didn't buy it in 76. I bought it probably in about 79, actually, this single. And it's back with Livewire, the studio version of that. It's a great song. It did actually come out in about 1980 as a live version of High Voltage and a live version, I think it was a live version of Livewire on the B-side. But that's the original. Brilliant. Great song, great B-side, fantastic single. It's number 5. At number 4, gone with Jailbreak. Now, this was a song that came out not in a picture sleeve in 1976 in the UK and then was reissued in 1980 in this picture sleeve. It was a song that I didn't know of because it was on the Australian album TNT, but it wasn't on any UK albums. And so I was pleased to pick that up in 1980. It's a great song. It's back with a thing called Fling Thing, which is kind of like a bit of a Scottish Highland fling. Which is a bit of a throwaway song, but Jailbreak, good riff, good song, and what a fantastic action shot from Angus, brilliant. That's at number 4. At number 3, the title track from my 3rd favourite album, Highway to Hell, tremendous song, just a brilliant song, absolutely love that. At number 2 is I think the first single I ever bought by him. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is actually. It might have been Let There Be Rock, but I think it's this one. I remember went down to Poole Park. There was a big grass bank there. Went down with a few mates. We had a radio on, and there was a guy called Alan Freeman on the radio, and he played this particular song, and he liked it so much that when it finished, he picked the needle up and he played it again. And that day, I went out and bought my second favourite AC/DC single. I bought the 12-inch version because they didn't have the 7-inch available, and that's Rock and Roll Damnation, back with Sin City. Just a fantastic, brilliant single. And this is a non-album track for us in the UK, so I was delighted to pick that up. And then I think it's about a year later, for some reason, I bought it on 7-inch as well. Also the same B-side. So that's my second favourite song by them. My favourite one is this one, Touch Too Much, from the album Highway to Hell. Great song, very melodic actually, but a brilliant kind of riff to it. Great kind of tune to it. It's a really good song. It's also, and the reason I love it so much, it's back with Livewire and Shot Down in Flames live versions, which kind of remind me of the times that I did see them live, and they open with that on the Highway to Hell tour. Just fantastic. So there's my favourite single by them, Touch Too Much, back with Livewire and Shot Down in Flames. So let's go to my favourite 5 tracks by AC/DC. At number 5, this is a song that opens side 2 on my favourite album. And at the start, as I said, it kind of sounds like it's recorded live. It almost sounds like they're tuning up at the start. There's a couple of duff notes and then they go into the riff. And the song is called Overdose, which is fairly poignant, bearing in mind that Bon Scott died 3 years later of acute alcohol poisoning. But this is a great album, and Overdose is just fantastic. The riff from Malcolm Young on it is just brilliant. The guitar tone from Angus, immense. And that's at number 5. At number 4, one of their heaviest songs, I think, and it's the closing track, and it has to be the closing track because you couldn't follow it because it's so raucous and heavy, and it's kicked in the teeth with a power chord that starts, and then Bon Scott, two-faced woman with a two-faced lie. It's just a brilliant song. The guitar work on it from Angus Young is just out of this world. It's just brilliant, and it's a great way to close an album, and it's a tremendous rocker. Kicked in the teeth at number 4. At number 3, from this album, the closing track again, Whole Lotta Rosie. You can't follow that song, so it has to close the album, and I love that song. I prefer it in the studio to live. I don't particularly like it when everyone shouts Angus, Angus at the start, and the riff and the live version. This sounds live just without the crowd. It's longer than the live version. The guitar solo is longer, and I love it for it. It's about 5.5 minutes long. The guitar tone on this, oh wow, just the guitar tone on Whole Lot of Rose. In fact, the whole album, but Whole Lot of Rose is just brilliant. It's got just an immense guitar solo in it, and I think the hero of this, yeah, Angus Young's great, Bon Scott of course great, Angus, Malcolm, Mark Evans' bass is good, but Phil Rudd, the drumming on this album, I mean, I guess he wouldn't have used a click track, but it's just, there's just an immense rhythm to it. It's just fantastic, and you know, the title track certainly has got that, but Whole Lot of Rosie, the drumming in that is just off the chart. It's fantastic. That's my third favourite song. My second favourite song is from this album, and it's a song that closes side one, and it's another big rocker. It's Riff Raff. I saw them open with that once, and it's just an incredible song, and with a brilliant riff. And again, the drumming on it is fantastic, but it's such a good song, and that's Riff Raff from 78's Power Age. At number 2, and at number 1, my favourite song by them is also on Power Age, and it's the second song on side 1, Down Payment Blues. This is the UK version of it, and that means it's slightly different. It's slightly shorter. It's nearly 6 minutes long. It's about 5:50, I think. The US version of it is slightly longer. It has this odd kind of fade out thing. But this doesn't have it and is better for it. But Down Payment Blues is everything I love about AC/DC, from the lyrics. It's, you know, it's a kind of a lived experience really from Bon Scott, Down Payment Blues, because at the time they weren't making big money from being rock stars, and you know, living on the breadline sometimes, you know, and it's just a brilliant song. Tremendous riff, great guitar, just the rhythm section immense, vocally brilliant, just incredible song. And that's Down Payment Blues, my favourite song from Power Age from 1978. So there you go. Tell me what you think in the comments below. What are your favourite 5 from AC/DC? And I'm sure I'll be back sometime with another video. Cheers.